Welcome to the WAMGET podcast. My name is Wayne Hyatt, and this is how we got started. We got started in the living room of my house. My wife and I were sitting down, just having conversations about other options for our lives. You know, are we going to work the rest of our lives? Do we want to start a business? You know, what are some options? And we used to receive information from a friend of ours, a really close friend of mine, about different business opportunities. He was coming out of the military, and one of them was about a cleaning company for franchise. And we were like, not sure if we want to start a franchise, but we'll look into it. And as we sat there and looked over the information, we said, you know what? Why not I start my own cleaning business? And we birthed the name WAMGET, got it registered, and everything started from there. So it's not that we didn't have the idea for our own business, but the name WAMGET and for a cleaning business started from there. Now we want to launch WAMGET in different areas, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a marketing, whether it's a relationship building. WAMGET. The name WAMGET was is Wayne and Michelle. Get what? We get it done. Whatever it is, we get it done. Let's start from the beginning with that part. So what we did before, we used to get flyers, right? Old school, have flyers, print it out, start walking the neighborhoods. We chose like affluent neighborhood and that we know that could afford to use the services. And so we started going through those neighborhoods, put the flyers in their mailbox, through the door, etc. And within a couple of days, actually, we started receiving calls, to people who wanted to use our services. And we got excited. Once we got those calls, we decided, okay, let's go to the Walmart, start getting some supplies and make some schedules, start going into the homes and doing our thing. Once we did that, start building good relationships with the current clients. We start telling people about what we do, people that we already knew, and they tell us about people maybe looking for the services. And so word of mouth start being a thing, for us. Once that started getting traction, we decided to create a website and start posting pictures on the website, putting content on the website. And once I started putting more content, I realized that people were really finding us a lot. And we started getting calls. When we started getting calls, business took off. And so my partner, my wife that is, she decided to no longer work. So it was just me and going out to different locations, different customers and doing the service. Once we got to the point where we're getting enough business, I decided to hire someone. First 2 years of being in business, good employees, people that were committed to work. That was one of the first adversity that I realized, this is not going to be easy, because you can do the thing solo because that's your baby and you can do it really well. But once you start hiring people, they're not doing it the same way you do it. And so I had to learn that, okay, I have to train, coach, be on top of these people that I'm hiring so they can keep the standard that I've already established over the relationships that I've built. So that was definitely adversity that I encountered. Also encountered adversity where pricing the customers and then they want what we call a cheap job. The quality that we're putting out, customers didn't want to pay for that quality of service. We were very detail oriented. We are still very detail oriented, and we definitely tried to make sure the customer was very satisfied. We always got 5-star ratings for every time we had services. To this day, when we go on our Google review, it's 5-star rating. So we were very detail oriented, make sure the customer was very satisfied with the service that we provide. And they loved it, man. We were excited. I was excited. Customers calling us left and right. We're just building business. And those things was what would have been an adversity. We decided to say, okay, we know that customers are not going to always want to pay for the service. We'll still give them the service in hopes that they'll tell someone about our service, right? So even though they don't always want to pay for it, but the review will help. And for the workers that was hit or miss, we just commit ourselves to train, educate, teach, until we eventually get to the point where our employees now are solid. They're really solid. We have great employees working for WAMGET, and they're doing an exceptional job. Customers love them. If they don't show up to work, customers saying, "Where is?" They know them by names. So it's just a beautiful experience right now. A good place that we are. Another thing that we had struggled with, obviously, I think because just learning the business as we're growing, we didn't have a way to track our employees, when they show up for work, when they didn't show up for work. We lost a couple clients because of people not showing up for work. And as a business owner, I didn't know. So I couldn't tell they didn't show up or call out. And so we had to go through those little trial and error. But now we're at a place where we now can track, when our employees show up, not just write down their time, but clock in. We have a system. It's been a game changer for us. Yeah, in being an entrepreneur and having businesses, you have to have a good work life, because I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a son, right? I'm a boss, right? And so for me, there's certain discipline that I have to maintain. Right, I can't go out and party every day. I can't stay up in the wee of the morning just watching TV or playing games. Right, if I'm up late, it's me learning my craft, figuring out ways how I can be better at what I'm doing, whether it be better as a husband, be better as a father, be better as a business owner, be better as an investor, whatever the case may be. If I'm staying up late, that's what I'm doing. The best time that I find myself be more productive is at night, when my wife is already sleeping, my children are already sleeping. So I'm up and I'm being creative and I'm doing things, I'm thinking, I'm writing, I'm learning, and educating myself about different contents and so forth. And I think knowing that you can't do those stuff during the day because you need to spend that time with your children, you need to spend that time with your wife, you need to go run around and drop off here and so forth. I know that in nighttime, I can find that time. Or what I really started doing is waking up really early in the morning and have at least an hour and a half for myself, my devotions, my workout, and then I get some, work done, whether it's for WAMGET from the cleaning company, whether it's thinking of content for WAMGET podcast, subscribe, or thinking of other investments that I can do, whether it's real estate, whether it's other options, so forth. So work-life balance is critical, but I think you have to be intentional in what you're doing, in preparing and making those spaces for your family, making the spaces for yourself, and making space for whatever you're doing as far as business.
That was a really good response, by the way.
Facts. With, continuing with being an entrepreneur, having the WAMGET cleaning service, the next thing I thought about was, okay, not just janitorial cleaning, I wanted to, so let's start with how I launched. So once I launched as janitorial cleaning business, I wanted to do more than just janitorial cleaning. So I looked at some YouTube videos, shout out to YouTube, and saw people learning how to window clean. So I learned how to window clean. So bam, WAMGET cleaning service for windows. And I learned that and got better at it and create a clientele for this window cleaning. Then YouTube videos again, learned how to do carpet cleaning. Got ourselves a machine, market for some carpet cleaning clients, and was able to do carpet cleaning. And now that we kind of stopped there. People wanted to know if we do other things as far as cleaning concerned, but we just stopped at those three things. We did the janitorial cleaning, commercial that is, window cleaning, and little carpet cleaning. But after that, like I always wanted for WAMGET to become a household name. I think of the big names at the Google. And so I said, okay, WAMGET can not only be a cleaning company, but now we can do other things. So what I started doing, obviously I started a podcast, with all the experience that I've had, whether it's business, it's in life in general. So now we have the WAMGET podcast because we're getting it done as far as having conversations. We're getting conversations done. We're teaching people how to become entrepreneurs. We have conversations about life. That's WAMGET part of it for the podcast. Now we've also done investments within real estate. I've always had a passion for real estate. And so, we've made some investments in real estate, that's doing okay. And now let me rephrase that. That's doing really well in real estate. And we love that direction that we're going. And of course, we want to make sure we invest for our children, whether it's creating an investment account, whether it's through the stock market, setting up a retirement account for ourselves. But the main things that we're doing right now is the Clean the Business, the podcast, and real estate. Busy lifestyle. But that's the purpose of the name WAMGET. We get it done. I think having your own business is not for everybody. I guess that's something I can really say honestly. But having a desire to be creative, to create something, is for everybody. We are all creative beings and we have creativity inside of us. So you may not run a business, but you can create something, hand it off to someone else and let them run it, right? If you definitely want to be the one that's running the business, obviously it has to be at a certain point because you want to scale and grow to the point where you're not running the business hands-on, but the business is moving with or without you. So what I would advise is that first, be creative. Whatever you thought, whatever you're thinking of, whatever you're passionate for, be creative, write it down. Figure out ways out it can become a reality. Have your ideas, have your thoughts. Whatever you think you have a desire for, a passion for. If you want to make a change in the world or in a neighborhood or whatever you want to offer to society, you can do it. Just be creative. Once you start creating, then you have a path. Okay, this is where I want to go. And that path could be, I'm going to start a book reading club. And you say, well, I'm not a reader, but you can create it, find someone that loves to read, and figure out how you can start letting that person or get the books in and letting that person start building other network of people who love to read. There's some of the stuff out there now for social media that you can easily have access to a plethora of people. So be creative. I will also say dream big. Don't limit your creativity or your passion or your dream for just the neighborhood or for your city or for your county. Let it be as big as the world. Let it be global. Let it be international. Because whatever you're creating is not just for you, but it's for the people who see the creativity that you create. Because we're not doing this. I'm not in business for Wayne. I'm in business for the people. This podcast is for people that receive some benefit from this and gain from it. The Clean the Business is not for me, but it's for the service that I'm providing for all of our clients and our customers. Real estate is not just for me, but it's for the tenants who want somewhere to live. It's for people who need housing, so it's for my children who want to have a better life, when they get to a certain stage, what I can leave back for them. So I think being creative is the key path to start as an entrepreneur. And don't limit yourself to what you can create. Great question. So WAMGET podcast is going to continue to make podcasts about relevant stuff, whether it's about life, whether it's about business, whether it's about investments, whether it's about, like I said, life, your children, family, beliefs, what's going on in today's current world. And real things, that's what WAMGET podcast is about. And what people can get from that, that's what we want to provide them. And whatever people say, okay, this is what we want to hear, that's what we want to provide them as well. So the goal is not for us to limit ourselves to how many podcasts or episodes. It's just to be creative, to continue to put out content, stuff that people are going to benefit from. People want to hear, people want to listen 5, 10, 20 years later. And until I can no longer do this, then the goal is to create it in a way where if I'm not there, another person can pick it up and continue the WAMGET podcast until decide there's no more need for the content. There's no more need for the information. There's no more need for it. But as long as there's a need, as long as there's people, I believe there's always be a need for information to give to people because we're creative beings. So we have no cap as to how many episodes and how long it's going to go, but we know we want to keep creating so people can get the benefit of creation that we're making. So guys, in closing, this was the beginning of our WAMGET podcast. And what I will say to my viewers is do not limit yourself. Do not think you're too old or you're too young to be creative. And do not let anyone put you in a box. The sky is not the limit, but beyond the sky. So go out there and be creative. Go out there, start your own podcast. Go out there, start your own business. Go out there and be your own entrepreneur. Go out there and invest. Learn, educate yourself, and be creative. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to the WAMGET podcast. Thank you for listening. WAMGET, we out.